Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, guys.
I'm here with Julien Blancher. So Julien is one of the first students from 42 Paris. He actually was in the first cohort, I guess. And after 42, he became an entrepreneur. He is already on the second startup. So we found out that he's in Lisbon. So we decided to invite him to share his experience that I think will be quite relevant for the ambitions that some of you for sure have. So Julien, thank you very much for being here with us. Unfortunately, we don't have an audience.
We have a little one, actually.
But anyway, we decided to do it here on 42, on the stage of 42, in the place where we normally engage with our students. And maybe we start there. So how was your experience in the past at 42 and before?
Actually, before 42, it was quite simple. There is not much to say because I was in high school and I wanted to attend an aerospace school, like standard aerospace school. And that's when I found out that a French entrepreneur, Xavier Niel, was launching a new software development school in Paris, which was totally free and accessible. So I decided to try the online test just for fun, not to attend the school, just for fun. And it was fun. So I was accepted to the piscine. I attended the piscine. I loved the piscine so much that I decided, okay, I want to do 42. I need to do 42. And so, yeah, I was accepted to 42 and that was it.
So and that was the beginning in Paris. Yes, so a bit like where we are today.
Yeah, exactly. In Paris, it was the first batch. So it was really early. Everything was in construction, ongoing construction. The school was almost finished. It was just really, really awesome to first.
So here we are already in full speed production.
Yeah, it's a really cool place. Yeah.
All right, and then at some stage, I think you got up to level 16, or?
Yes, I got to level 16 in I don't know, maybe 1 year and a half, but it was not the same cursus as today. It was quite different, so I think we can compare.
Yeah, and then how did the idea to do a startup came up?
Yeah, actually, I was already searching how to create a company. What can I do? I had some experience, a little bit of experience with my first internship at 42. And that's just after my first internship that business angel from an entrepreneur contacted the funding team of 42 to have some contacts of
so they came students. To 42,
yes,
looking for students, yes, to engage in,
yes,
in his venture.
Yeah, exactly. He was not sure about what he wanted to do, but his objective was like, okay, I see there is something to do in the scope of the market, which was the natural language processing in artificial intelligence, but I don't know exactly what. I need to find people that can come and help me.
Mm-hmm. So
yes,
and it was you and some more.
Yes, so there was Jasmine, and Jasmine was another batchmate. There was Paul, and there was me, and so we met Patrick, who was the business angel, and there was a good fit, so we decided to give it a try. And yes, we started with this.
And I understand that what you ended up doing in the startup was not exactly the same that you started, which is something that sometimes happens. So.
Yes, exactly. Actually, so as I said, Patrick had an idea of, okay, there is something to do, but I don't know exactly what. I think as always when you build a startup. So we tried, we started, and on the first 3 months, we were passing say CVs, curriculum vitae,
So you were in the CVs, like in the selection for the
exactly.
HR.
It's like, okay, how can we parse a CV to automatize the selection of the candidates, etc. But it was really complicated. It was quite boring too. So we decided, okay, it's not, we don't want to do that. We want to do the engine, the technological engine behind parsing CVs and all the natural language understanding. So we decided to build the engine to understand natural language. So it was the first version of the platform. It was really the technological layer. It was a platform for developers. And like 4 months later, Facebook launched what they called chatbots. So today chatbots is quite mainstream, but at the time it was not mainstream at all. So we rebranded all the company overnight and we launched on Product Hunt. And yet we had a lot of luck and we were...
So you were lucky.
Yeah, we were lucky.
So you were at the right place in the right time.
Yes, we had like 4 months of technological development behind us. So we had a working platform. So when they launched, we just rebranded. Our chatbots were called apps. So we just renamed chatbots, apps by chatbots on the platform, and we were in the wave.
Okay. So and then you have that startup for a few years, and you grew it, right?
Yes, we grew it for 2.5 years. It was mainly technological growth, so a lot of R&D research, because there were not a lot of things around NLP which were industrialized. So we had a lot of R&D, and we also had, of course, a lot of business development with many big groups to sell basically chatbots. And we also had the community. So we had a huge community of developers building chatbots for themselves.
But you think that what you learned at 42 helped you? Yeah. Or is it what we normally say, the learning how to learn that helped you? Or was it really the specific code that you had done before?
No, it was both, because at 42, I learned software development, of course. I also learned DevOps and infrastructure management, but especially I learned how to learn, and that enabled me to learn everything I had to learn to help Recast grow. So yes, I think obviously, honestly, without 42, I couldn't have made everything happen.
And I think at the end it was quite successful, right? So after 3 years or 4 years, you sold it by how much? Well, you don't have to say the exact amount, but just
a few tens of millions, but I can say it. A few tens of millions, but I can say it.
So not bad.
It was not bad at all, especially for 2.5 years. It was a hard choice because we made a seed round. So we raised 2 million euros after 8 months. And after 2.5 years, SAP came to us and offered us to buy the company. But we were in the process of raising a Series A for a few millions. So we had the choice between, okay, should we sell now the company, or should we do at least 5 more years, go for 5 more years of developing the company? And when you are creating a new technology, you have like this adoption curve, which is something like, it's like it goes high and it goes a bit lower, and then you have the long tail, and you're on the low part of the chart. So it was like, okay, do we want to do all the long tail maybe in 10 years to have some success, or do we want to more than the offer? So we decided to take the offer and do some.
And the other day that we spoke, you were telling me that you had many challenges.
Yes.
Do you want to share that? Because I think it's very interesting for everybody that has the idea of building a company at some stage to understand what was harder for you.
Yes, I think what was harder all of the hard things was the human relationships. I think it's always at the end the other things.
But relationships with whom? With your partners in the startup, or outside with clients, or with the
mainly with
investors?
Actually, it was quite easy with the investors because we had Patrick, and Patrick had a lot of experience. So he managed the investors very well, and he protected us from all the exterior threats. And but yes, internally it was difficult at times because we were obviously inexperienced. It was our first venture. We didn't even finish 42, and yes, and Patrick was very experienced, so it was sometimes difficult to understand. Okay, I am a developer. I see things with my experience, but there is someone else with things.
Because you didn't have business experience.
Yes, I didn't have.
And just all the other members of the team.
No, neither them.
So pure code.
Yes, it was code. So you need to code a lot, of course, but you also need to think about your users, about your clients, about a lot of things that you don't want to think about because you love to code and you just want to do nice code and find technology.
But if you look back, I mean, do you think that it would always have to be like that and just have someone that somehow protects you from the investors and you learn by doing it? Or would you have today, looking back, prefer to have gained some additional skills to the code that could have helped?
I think I will redo it because it's a huge chance of someone doing part of the hard things for you and helping you avoid common mistakes. But you also learn a lot if you are doing things by yourself. But here in the example of Recast, we had a lot of luck because we were very lucky because everything went well thanks to Patrick, and if we launched Recast by yourselves, I'm not sure he would have went. That's
So, and then after you sold Recast, you came back to 42?
No, I wanted to because I was only level 16, so I had to finish my courses. But it was each week I was okay. I will go back to 42, but I didn't, and I took 8 months, like 6 to 8 months, to just cool down, have the stress levels, lower the stress levels, and travel a bit and enjoy life. And yes, it was my next 8 months.
Okay. And then new idea came up.
Yes, the idea came up. No, not exactly. There was first Eutelsat, which was like interlude. So I had a former business angel of Recast who contacted me for a project at a French company, satellite company, which is called Eutelsat. So Eutelsat basically conceive and exploit satellites, geostationary satellites, so satellites who you can use for like the satellite television or something like that. The project was today in satellites, as impressive as it can be, there is not a single line of code in geostationary satellites. It's only like radio and
nothing else.
Yes, electronics. So the idea was we need to bring software technology to the satellites to have a modern way of experimenting, using satellites. So that was the project. The project was called Capacity Marketplace. So basically, it would have enabled any small company and medium companies to book satellite capacity very easily. Yes, those were 2 projects. So I joined with 2 former Recast employees.
Okay. And it didn't work or what?
It didn't work like I wanted to, mainly because of corporate matters. And that was another thing I didn't have experience on. So I learned a lot, obviously. Even if it didn't work, I learned a lot. I don't regret it at all. It was really interesting to see how a big corporation works and how the markets, because it was a listed company, so how the markets influence the company and the decision of the board of the company, etc. But at the end of the day, we didn't make it. It was too long to make it, so I decided to leave. Especially when you have SpaceX and AWS, Amazon, which are doing awesome things in satellite space.
Okay. So you had already the 2 experiences, a large corporate and also the first startup.
Yeah.
So, and then after that?
So yes, after that, it was like, I knew during Utelsite, like, let's say 1 year ago, I started to think about a new company, about what can I do, what can I build myself this time, not with everyone else to help me, not with anyone else to help me. So I was thinking, what can I do? I had a lot of ideas. I worked on it with a longtime friend, Munir, who is now my co-founder. We tried.
Also from 42?
No, he's from a business school, but he was early employee at Capitaine Train, which is a French train ticket sale, which was bought by Trainline, which IPO'd last year. And yes, so we worked a lot on our projects. We launched 1 project per month for 4 or 5 months.
Different things.
Yes, different things, totally different things. We had like a huge backlog of projects. So we tried.
What do you mean you launched? In practice, what was launching?
Yes, the idea was, okay, we have this idea. So I can take a concrete example. The first one was today, knowing if your infrastructure is secure, is performant, etc. It's really difficult. So we decided, okay, we need to build a tool to help companies manage their infrastructure in the macro view. So the idea was, okay, we have 1 month. The first week, it's okay, we need to develop the minimum viable product, so it's MVP. And the second week, we finalize sync and test with our friends and families. And the third week, we launched the product. So very simple product, very, very simple. We launched with on LinkedIn and our networks. We tested and we have 2 weeks to gather
so
feedback.
1 month, 1 project.
Yes. Yes, and so the first one, it was not satisfying enough. The second measure for fourth, etc. And then we had an idea.
So it was a bit like submitting things to Molinet.
Yes, exactly. He's like, okay, I've built that. Try and let me know. But yes, after this, the reflection was, okay, what do we need? What are our pains in our daily lives? And both Munir and I earned a bit of money when we sold our companies. So, and we had a hard time managing our money because we had no one around us who has a lot of money. So we didn't know, how do I manage my money? How can I be wise with my money? It was difficult, so we discussed a lot with banks, retail banks, with wealth advisors, etc. But it was not satisfying because these people are like they are commercials. They want to sell to as many people as possible, and the products are not tailored or personalized at all. So we decided, okay, we can do something about it. There are surely a lot of people who want to manage their money and who don't want to give their money to corporations that they don't trust. So yes, and so the MVP for this one was to build an wealth aggregation tool, because the first thing I think is to have all your wealth at the same place is very difficult. Because you have, when you're on a company, you have your retirement accounts, you have your stock accounts, you have your real estate, you have if you're lucky, of course. You have many things, and you don't have anything at the same place. So the MVP was take the Excel sheet where you track your money and just put it on a website. So we released in less than a month a website where you can track all your cryptocurrencies, your stocks, your real estate, your watches, your I don't know.
So your goal is to be in the money advice how to manage your money. Money somehow.
Exactly.
The first step was just to aggregate, to have the full view of all the things.
Yes.
And now you're moving to the next step that is suggest how to organize and manage your money.
Yes. So we have that's two steps. So we have the first steps, which is the aggregation. The second step is to have insight on your wealth, because if we have all your wealth data at the same place, we can give you insights, performance insights, and optimization insights. And once we have the insights, we can give you tailored and personalized investment recommendations, where we are really transparent about why we suggest you this investment. What is this investment? We want you to understand what you are doing. We want you to own your money and to be the master of your money. And yeah, that's
so the name of the company is Finary?
Yes, Finary.
Like binary for finance.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And can we register already? Or
yeah.
I went to the website and it said you can select to be in the waiting line or something like that.
Yes, you can register today, but it's only in French. Next week,
we start to learn French.
Cool. On Monday, it will be in English too. On Monday, if everything goes well. And yes, on Monday you can try in English. And
so can you share also, again, for the people that at some stage may be thinking about opening a company, I mean, what have been the main difficulties in this process for this new one that I think it's quite recent, so things are probably still fresh.
Yeah, sure.
I know, what was it? Getting investors, it's the development side, getting people to do it, or you have already had, I mean, what have been the challenges?
The main challenges have been to develop the product always as little as possible.
Yeah, doing as little as possible is something that we would like.
Yes, because you always want to launch a minimal feature and to take feedback from your users, and then to iterate on this. You don't want to be on a tunnel with yourself for 6 months and then releasing something that maybe no one wants except you. So that was the main thing. Actually, about investors and team, I had a lot of luck, because with my previous experiences, I had a network to raise money. And
so the first company has helped having credibility.
Yes, it's very important to capitalize on your network and everything, because with my network, I was able to raise money, and also I was able to bring my former colleagues, which are my friends, to the company. So, for example, there is François, and François was 42 students, then a Recast.AI employee, then a Eutelsat partner, and now Finary Finary developer. So yes, it's really important to.
So it has been the development side of it.
Yes.
And this time,
yes,
the issue of dealing with personalities and so on is more.
It's more simple, I think, because everyone has more or less the same experience, and we don't have huge differences. We wanted to do this way because it's important for us to have everyone to start the company. It's important to have everyone with the same mindset regarding creating the company. And once you have the core team, you can expand. And when we want to expand, we want to expand with people with different mindset to bring new ideas to the company.
So how many are you?
We are 5 today, yes, 5. And 4 developers.
Out of the 5, 4 are developers?
Yes. And 3 42.
And 3 are from 42?
Yes.
Okay. Of course. And you will be looking for some people here at some stage?
Yes, we will definitely. We are building the foundations, but in a few months we will start hiring a lot of more people because we will raise fund by the end of the month.
This month?
Yes, this month we are starting.
How much are you planning to raise now? If you can disclose.
Yes, 1.5 million to 1 million, yes, to 2 million.
And that will allow you to, for how long?
Yes, we will run hopefully for 18 months to our Series A. The target is to have 100,000 customers on the platform and to be able to launch
100,000.
Yes, and to be able
only in France or
no,
launching
worldwide.
You're launching in different language?
Only English and French, but I think with English you can do a lot of things. And yes, and the important part of the next 18 months will be the regulatory part, because if we want to offer investments, we need to be regulated, and it's a lot of money and a lot of investment. So that's a hard part.
And why Portugal? I mean, why are you here in Portugal? And
the weather is better. And
how long have you been here?
Since early February. And yes, the idea was Portugal is very welcoming startups. I went twice here before for Recast for the Web Summit.
Is welcoming in what sense? I mean, any for money or the
it's like you
facilities? What?
Yes, you have money advantages, tax advantages. You have a nice startup community. You have a lot of events for startups. So yes, it's really a nice place in Europe to be when you're a startup. And the second thing was that with the COVID, we wanted to bring the team all together, because it's the start of the company and we are a remote first company, so we still need to be together sometimes. So we gathered everyone at the same place here in Lisboa, and the weather is better than in Paris, so we can be outside a lot. So yes.
Okay. And what are your plans? Is to stay? You will go at some stage?
We don't know yet. Currently, we are really focused on just building the product and raising the first round of funds. But yeah, we don't know. Maybe we'll be there. But as I said, we are a remote first company, so we don't see ourselves as really having like a hard headquarter in Portugal or in France or in anywhere. It's like, you are living in Portugal. Nomads. Yes, you are living in Portugal. Okay, you can join us and just stay in Portugal. And if you are living in the woods, you can come and stay in the woods.
As long as you have internet.
Yes.
All right. So anything you want to share in particular that you, from your experience, that you want to share with our 42 students that have just started?
Yeah, I think
they started almost at the same time of your company.
It's another type of company. It's, I think I've thought about that, and I think these 3 or 4 main things that helped me achieve my goals. Where first one was to, I'm still in the process of achieving my goals, obviously, always. But the first one was defining why I wanted to build a company, why I wanted to do that. It was not for money. It shouldn't be for money, because money is not the end game. So why you want to do that? Why is your life plan? What do you want to do with your life? And once you know what you want to do with your life, you can build plan on top of that. And that's the first thing. And the second thing is the first thing will motivate you. So yes, so I have my life plan. So I know why I'm motivated every day. The second thing is to stay rigorous and yes, rigorous, because you need the days you are not motivated, you need to keep going always. And yes, the last thing will be, do not fall into bullshit. And if you are creating startups, you are creating startups for you, because you have an idea, because you have a way of seeing things. And yes, you need to stay yourself and do not fall in the bullshit of what other people want you to be. And yes, just enjoy the trip.
So Julien, thank you very much. We will have to make a quick stop now, but we will be open for questions just after. Okay, so 1 minute. I think we have to stop the meeting and restart again. So thank you for being with us, and please come back with your questions that we will try to answer them. Thank you. So we're back, open for questions. Also for you. Maybe you have a question for me.
I don't have a question yet.
Now we started last year.
Yep.
So first PCs in September.
Yes,
October, November.
Yes, it's already awesome for just 1 year old.
So this is the first cohort of students. And so maybe we have some just like you. So from your cohort, did a lot of 42 alumni build startups, or they went more into other jobs?
Yes, I think
do you have
most of them went to other jobs, but a few of them launched startups, and there are already many really cool startups from 42. I think you have Crisp. Crisp is like a web chat for websites, and it's really awesome. It's made by 2 former 42 students.
So web chat is what also?
Yes, it's like a customer support chat on your website. You can integrate, and it's another way of doing companies, which is really interesting, because it's not about raising funds, it's not about hyper growth, it's just about developing the product and being autonomous on your growth, and just earning your money and living on the money you earn. And it's another.
So what do you mean? They work a bit like freelancers?
No. It was a true company, but like a real company, not a startup. Which like startup is a company with drugs, and or adrenaline. But yes, it's just a normal company, and they did it all by themselves. And yes, they've built something awesome without any funds other than their own funds. Yeah.
All right, Crisp.
Yes, Crisp. Crisp.chat.
Yeah.
You think?
Any other that comes to your mind from the group in Paris?
Not. There is Ponycode, which is a new startup of Patrick, one of the co-founders of.
So he always goes to 42 looking for
yes, yes. I think that they are already a big team, like 15 people, and there are a lot of students for 42 in the team.
Okay, so we got a few questions already. So one is, was there a big difference between being part of the startup and actually starting one? So I guess it's the difference between the Recast that somehow the founder or the one that had the idea came to you, and this one that really started from you.
It's highly different because when you are part of a startup, even if you are the first co-founder, the first employees, but you have someone handling all the hard things for you, it's easier, obviously, but it's a good thing because you can focus on learning at your own rhythm, even if the rhythm is fast, is quick. But yes, when you start a company by yourself, you have everything to do, and everything is not always fun. Sometimes it's like taxes and administration and things like that. So you have to do them, and you have to talk to investors, even if you don't want to. You have to do everything. So, and there is no one else to help you and to tell you where you should go. So you have to think about all of that by yourself. It's different.
And make some mistakes, probably.
Yes, make some mistakes.
Try again.
Learn from them.
What you do.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay, so there's another one, how to find co-founders. Which skills or personal affinity is the priority for you? So when you select your team, what were you looking for?
If we focus on co-founders, I would say the most important thing is to know them. You have to trust your co-founders. I don't think you can build a company with someone you've met because you are looking for a co-founder. You need to have worked with someone. You need to share things with this person outside of your project because the project, it will be a difficult journey, and you need to have like other things to in common to like overcome the challenges you will have.
So, but apart from knowing them, were there any particular skills or characteristics that you were looking for?
Yeah, I would say they have to be open, like open in all the ways of open. It's open of new ideas, open to discussion, open to other people's ideas. So yes, that's the first thing. And the second thing will be they have to be better than you, if possible, because you always want to be the best person in the room, or at least as good as you, because you want to be able to like not compete, but work with each other without having anyone worse than the other or less invested than the other.
Okay. So we have more questions. I was planning to finish this at 6:42, but since we had a break, I guess we can go a little bit more.
Sure.
In your opinion, is it possible to create a startup without angel investment? Pros and cons of
yes,
that?
Yes, definitely. Actually, it was an option for Finary. I would love creating a startup without funds. without having funds, because it means it's on the startup world, it's called a lifestyle business, which is just a normal enterprise. But it's like if you create your own business, you will be able to, you won't have the pressure of the investors. You will be able to create it by yourself, to do your own thing, to grow it like you want. And yes, it's if you want to go live anywhere in the world or do other projects while doing your startup, you can, your company, you can, because it's different. If you are creating a startup, the important thing to know is that when you have raised funds, it's not your startup anymore. It's a common project, and the project is owned by investors, and it's not your baby anymore. So you need to share it with other people, and these other people will want you to do things some ways. And yes, the upside of this is that you will be able to grow way faster. But the downside is that it's not your company only. It's
so if you had a choice, you would prefer to do it without angel investment money, or it depends on what you're trying to do?
It depends. It always depends on your life plan. I have things that I want to do with my life that require a lot of money. And so making a lot of money is easier if you are doing a startup. But I also have another idea of doing things, another path, which is just creating a self-sufficient startup where I can be by myself or with some friends and just create the project and have a regular inflow of money, but just to live well and to live like we want to live. So it's different ways of seeing things, and yes, you have to choose.
Okay. So there is a question about what is Finary built on, but I think there is another one to say, what is your goal in life? Which I think is related to what you are saying. So, and how will your companies help you to get into that?
So the first goal, the most immediate goal, is to be able to leave Paris, because we don't, with my girlfriend, we don't want to live anymore in Paris. And we want to move to the countryside and in Europe. And we are doing a lot of activities outside of parachute and flying planes or other things that are a lot in the nature. And I just want to go in the nature. So that's the first thing. That's why Finary is that part of why Finary is a remote first company. And the more longer objective is to attend the 24 hours of Le Mans, and as a gentleman driver. So that means you have to pay your seat. So you have to train a lot for many years, and maybe in 10 or 15 years, I will be able to do it. But
if cars are still driven by humans.
Yes, yes. It will certainly be electric cars, which is fine. But yes, it's like a longer project. And, yeah.
Okay, so fine. What is Finary built on?
Technically, I guess. I guess. It's Ruby on Rails. The backend is Ruby on Rails because it's really easy and powerful framework, and Ruby is really simple and really handy to build things quickly, and it's really scalable. So even if your company is growing, you can keep it. So very interesting to have this. And the front end was Vue.js, but it was like a quick choice. And so now we are moving on to React.js for the front end. And we are using Heroku to host the infrastructure. I was in Recast in charge of the infrastructure, and I at Eutelsat 2, and I worked a lot with huge infrastructures on AWS, Google Cloud Platforms, etc. But I think it's important to, as much as possible, keep the infrastructure as simple as possible. And Heroku to launch a company is awesome. You will pay more, but it will save you. It will save you a lot of time. So it's for
you have to tell me about that.
Yeah,
I don't know them very well. So
we can.
But I think it's quite interesting. Right. So Marianne is asking, how long have you stretched? Meaning stretched between starting a company and getting an investment round. So without external investors.
Yes, I think, yes, it was not like thinking about it every day and what should we do, oh, that's a hard decision. It was more about, we don't know yet, but we will see. For now, we can work by yourself and with our own funds. For the first like 6 months, we spent, for the first 6 months of Finary, we spent 2,000 euros. So it's not that much. So we did not need any funds. And while growing, we discovered that if we want to build something where people can invest and to be regulated, etc., we need funds. So it was a natural way of doing these kind of things. And it's also a market which is growing very fast. So if we want to be competitive, we need funds to accelerate the growth. So it was natural.
You managed it basically with your own money.
Yes.
Money, right? So there was a question, what would you recommend to newbies in the world of big technology? So to the new people in the world of big technology. I don't know exactly what means big technology, if it is big companies or whatever, or new technologies. But I mean, what would be your recommendation for people facing some challenges with large technology or large technology projects?
I would recommend to always find a way to start smaller and to split things in little bites. For example, at Recast, we had to build an NLP engine to understand the language. Nobody has made it before, so it was really complicated to imagine how we can do it. So the first step was just go on the Wikipedia page of NLP and read the Wikipedia page of NLP. And the second step was, okay, I've understood what it is, and now I want to be able to understand a simple sentence like hello. And so I will find a library. It was like Python libraries to understand some simple sentences, and you just do a little bit like that. And it's always like with doing little things and discovering with little things that you are able to after build your knowledge and do great things. And we are doing it today in Finary with cryptocurrencies and the crypto world.
By the way, there is a question, since you are working on finance, what is your opinion of Bitcoin and Fintech, and how will you think that crypto and the Fintechs will change the current financial landscape?
Yeah, I think that cryptocurrencies are really the future. I think the technology behind it is really, really, really good technology, and it has like 13 years now, so it's quite challenge. It has been quite challenged yet. And so yes, I think it will be the future. I won't be surprised that in 3 to 5 years there will be maybe 10 to 30% of the financial world
in crypto.
Yes, in crypto, because today in crypto with DeFi, you can build insurance products, you can build investment products, you can build currency, of course, you can build I don't know many other products in finance, debt, loans. So yes, you can do many things, and it's fully automated. And when you see that if you want to do a SEPA wire in Europe, it's like only on work days, and on work days it's like 24 hours to 72 hours. And if you want to do a wire between the United States and Europe, it's like 7 days. It's obvious that crypto is a technology that will take over the standard from our legacy financial system.
Okay, and I mean, in terms of the fintechs, apart from crypto, do you see others that are really getting traction?
There is Binance, which is, I think, the biggest crypto exchange in the world, and they are doing a lot more than just exchanges, or they are doing a lot more than being a crypto exchange. I think Binance and Coinbase will be the next banks. They will be the banks of tomorrow. They will maybe replace BNP Paribas, HSBC, UBS, etc. And there are smaller companies too in Europe, like Curve Finance, or other companies like that which are working hard on crypto. And Finary will be a crypto.
So you don't seem to see a very bright future for banks, or do you think that banks will somehow adapt?
I think it's complicated because they rely a lot on people, on the huge systems, like they have a huge technical debt. So either they can start again everything, or it will be complicated. And when I see Eutelsat with the satellites, whereas SpaceX, I think it will be quite of the same thing with banks versus crypto.
Okay, so I think we will have to finish. Unfortunately, we won't be able to, I guess, answer. I think we answered most, but maybe if there is anyone still remaining, we will come back to them. So I think we can just take the last one. There is somebody, Jack, I think. I have a lot of new good tech ideas, but I don't know what to choose to avoid wasting time. So what would you suggest, Jack?
I would suggest to make an Excel sheet and make the main criteria for your businesses. So how much people are willing to, how much people can use it? Is it something easy to develop? How much will it cost to develop it? So sort your ideas and then try all of them sequentially. You give yourself 1 month per idea, and in 1 month you have to see traction from your users. If you don't see traction from your users, you give up and try the next idea. And I'm sure one of your ideas will take off.
Okay, Julien, thank you very much for being with us. I think it was very, very good and very interesting. And please come, 42 is open for the alumni as well.
Sure. And if you have a question we haven't answered, you can send me an email on gblanche, gblanche@student.42.fr.
We'll share that with the people. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.